if you keep realizing the same thing over and over and over again, it is time to like hold yourself accountable. And I'm just talking to myself, because awareness is only part of your responsibility. Once you have become aware, you have to be accountable and put in some action so that you can break those cycles. What's up, guys? I just got back from the gym. It's the first time I've been in like 2 weeks. I struggle still a lot with discipline. I know earlier in the year I talked about creating a schedule and ways to follow your schedule to get better at that. And I think I'm aware of the things that make me struggle with getting things done. One of those things being planning. Like if I don't have a plan, I just feel really disorganized and I don't do anything. But then even if I do have a plan, the hard part is like doing it. And I was really reflecting on like what makes me struggle so much with the discipline, like doing something and getting something done. And I feel like for me it's the lack of consequences. Like I'm in a place right now where a lot of stuff is autonomous. Like I work from home and I can clock in whenever I want and get my work done at any time during the day. So like there's nothing that's like really forcing me to have to get up in the morning. Like I don't have to get up and go to work because I work from home. I don't have to get up and go to school because I finished school. It's weird. Like it's a weird time, and I used to beat myself up about it because in school, of course, we all have, well, some of us were very disciplined because there were consequences. If you're late to school, you rack up tardies. You might have to go to Saturday detention, stuff like that. You're late to work, you get fired. So I feel like the first thing that I realized that's making me struggle with discipline is like that lack of consequences. If I don't wake up at 9 a.m. when my alarm goes off, there's no consequence because I don't really need to be up. I don't have to be up that early, or that's not even early, that's a reasonable time. I don't have to be up if I don't like want to get up at that time, if that makes sense. But also I feel like there's still goals that I want to reach. And so the only consequence really is not reaching my goals. And so I was like, why am I okay with not reaching my goals then? Because that is a consequence of not having discipline, is not reaching my goals. So what is it about my goals where like I'm okay if I don't reach them? And so I was thinking about that, and I was like, I think it's just the simple fact that I've never experienced my goals. So I don't know what life is like without them. All I know is the life that I'm living. Oh, I don't know what life is like with those goals in action. All I know is that I don't know. All I know is life currently without those goals. And I don't feel like life is bad currently without those goals. So it's kind of like the combination of complacency and not really knowing what I'm missing. So not really feeling that urgency to get to what I'm missing. I don't know, these are just things I was thinking about this morning. I hate that, because there are things that I really want to do. I want to live a better life for myself, just become a better person. But I think the third reason that I came up with is just recreating habits. The other day on TikTok, I saw a video that talked about what habits are, and we like to think of habits as like a routine. A habit is something you can do without thinking about it. So like driving, a lot of us, how many of you have ever been like driving and then like you realize that you zoned out while you were driving? but you didn't miss that red light. You didn't miss that stop sign. Like, you're doing everything without thinking. It's so hardwired into your brain that it just happens without you having to think about it. And I was like, man, the habits that I do have, and I talked about this a couple years ago, the habits that I do have that have been like hardwired into my brain, I don't even have to think about it, they are habits from when I was depressed. So it's a struggle trying to break out of those habits. Like, God was onto something when he was telling us, like when he was saying in the Bible, he was commanding his people to like constantly keep his word on their hearts, on their minds, to meditate on it constantly, because we are physiologically wired to form habits. It's more than just a spiritual thing. Like, he created the body to be compatible with the spiritual practices that he gave us. So I feel like we always talk about how discipline, what's the phrase? It's about like motivation discipline will take you places that motivation can't. Like, discipline matters more than motivation. That type of phrase that everybody's been throwing out lately. Even I at one point threw that phrase out. But I feel like we always talk about that part about it, like, oh, well, you can't rely on motivation. But okay, how do you rewire your brain? And I literally have a book called Switch on Your Brain, and it's by a neuroscientist. Her name is Dr. 𝗕𝗨𝗦𝗡𝗘. She talks about like holistic practices for like your health. But I don't know, I think I'm just kind of in this phase of life where I have to be a little bit more present, and by present I mean conscious of like every moment that's passing by, because I'm so stuck in, well, not stuck, I'm not going to speak that over myself. I've been walking in cycles, in other words habits, that I developed when I was depressed, and now I'm like at a place where I want to grow as a person, but I have to break out of those cycles, those habits, in order to get to where I want to be. So now it's a matter of thinking about what I need to do. What habits do I need to break? I saw this other TikTok that talked about the devil, how he's not omnipresent like God is, and so how he keeps everyone in check. Because I feel like the devil is not worried about some of us. Trust me. He has a lot of other people to be worried about, doing really big things in the spirit realm against his kingdom. But the way that he keeps, since he can't be everywhere at once like God can, he keeps people stuck in cycles so that when he revisits you, you're still in the same place he left you. And I was like, whew, that's a word. So I was thinking about the cycles that I have, and I think some of the cycles that I want to break are just mindlessly entertaining myself, or just like always feeling like I have to be entertained, always having to have something in my head, like, or like, what I mean by that is like watching something, whether that be TikTok, YouTube, Netflix, that type of stuff, like, or like listening, like podcasts, like always having to be entertained by something, having something on my mind. Replace that with something a little bit more productive, which is going to be a lot harder said than done. I think that's number one. Be okay with just like sitting and being bored, and then be able to like refocus my mind on other things eventually, hopefully. I don't know. Yeah, that's just what was on my mind today, and I wanted to share it. And it's crazy because every time I make videos like this, I'm like, I made a video about this a couple weeks or a couple years ago or a couple months ago, and I keep making the same time. I'm in cycles right now. So if you are like me, let me just end the video with this. If you keep realizing the same thing over and over and over again, it is time to like hold yourself accountable. And I'm just talking to myself, because awareness is only part of your responsibility. Once you have become aware, you have to be accountable and put in some action so that you can break those cycles. So that's where I need to go. I remember not even last year, I think it was 2021, I made a video with all my measurements, and I was gonna get on my gym grind and start being consistent, and that video did not do a dang thing. I didn't get consistent. I didn't come in and do check-ins with my gym progress. I just have to hold myself accountable somehow, some way, and I have to put in action. So I hope the next time I make a video about discipline, I actually have something to show for it. And I'm not gonna edit this video because I just want it to be a raw video. I just turned on my camera and I wanted to get this out before I forgot about it. So yeah, hopefully you guys have a good rest of your week, and I will see you guys in my next video.